Welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show, and we've got a big one for you today. It's the first player we've had on, current player in a while, since I think last year. Talked to a lot of the guys as they had left and leading into last season. Hopefully get some other guys going, but pleased to welcome in Ohio State center, Mr. Carson Hinzman.
What's going on, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Schlegs, yeah, come on now.
In the O-line room, I mean, Carson, we just did so Schlegs knows this, and we take him a little inside the curtain, Mondays or our upper body days, get the guns going. Do we have a new PR? Like, what are we doing with the arm measurements, and where are we coming in with that?
Yeah, we're 1/8 below a 20 piece right now, so we're 19.7/8. So
19 7/8.
Yeah, according to the professional counter, Coach Higgs. So
what's the neck size? What's the cylinder? What's the girthiness of the neck?
The neck, right? I think my neck was 19 as well. So I'm pretty similar. You know what I mean? A little bit bigger on the buys, but pretty similar neck.
It's good. You got to have a big, frothy, juiced up cylinder to play center. And that old vintage, face guard that you got, I absolutely love it. Tell us a little bit about. Bob went through that. You are the gold standard, right? Like there's all these different measurables now, and the gold for an offensive lineman. Tell everybody kind of about that, but what does it really mean for you?
Yeah, so here at Ohio State, we have this thing called you can be either gold, red, or blue.
Yep.
And gold is a champion, and obviously everyone wants to be a champion. Red is you're kind of there, and then blue is obviously no bueno, you're no good. But ever since I got here, everything, like I always wanted to be one an Iron Buckeye, and two to be a full gold guy. And for those gold to be gold, one of the things you have to do is you have to hit all your metrics. So we take average combine testings and stuff like that, and you have to hit those metrics for each one of those, whether it's like pro shuttle, vertical, 225 test, pull-ups, and there's a few other things in there as well. But been really fortunate to be the only guy on the team to have a full gold bar right now. So it's something I'm really proud of. A lot of obviously hard work. It took almost 4 years to get, so obviously not easy, but we made it. So
Veli's like right behind him. Like somehow our Vel can't get a 34-inch vertical, which I don't understand how that's even possible.
Yeah,
like the type his arms just keep growing. Yeah,
I jumped 34.5, buddy. And I'm just some white dude from Lancaster. There's no way you can't get a 34.5 yourself. So he might be the next up for you. I want to take it back, Carson, because you've been here now. This will be your 4th season, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's been a long time. You're a guy from Wisconsin. Wisconsin's got an unbelievable track record up there producing offensive linemen as far as the school. Why Ohio State? How did you end up coming here?
Yeah, so when I was looking actually at official visits with me and my mom, we were trying to figure out, where we wanted to go see. And for us, we obviously picked Wisconsin, picked Notre Dame, picked Iowa, and we had like one more. You get 4. And so I was like, my mom, all of her family's from, state up north, up in the UP, a bunch of Upers. And so I was like, well, I know you guys aren't really Ohio State fans, but I really, want to go check it out because Ohio State, they were recruiting me pretty hard. But they were like, we're not really going to offer or give an offer to someone that we, thinks a Wisconsin guy. And we want to, I guess, have you come out here to official visit, and, then we'll offer you to do the whole process. And I was like, they're obviously a great school. It'd be cool to go out there and see something like that. And going through my official visits and stuff like that, I was, my eyes were open to a lot of different cultures and stuff. And I think coming to Ohio State, weirdly, was the one that felt most like home, even though it was the furthest one away. And so I was walking from the Blackwell to the bookstore by the Varsity over on Lane with my mom because she wanted to go pick up some stuff. And so she's like, "Do you like here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think this is probably gonna be the spot. I think this is the one." And so it's just the culture here, the people here. Because like as soon as the day I committed, actually, I was on a flight to the All-American Bowl, and the day after, Coach Stud was out. So it was kind of interesting. But like that's why I always tell recruits here. It's like coaches change, people change, but the culture is always the same thing, and that's why I wanted to come here. And a culture that obviously can compete for a national championship, and that has the closest O line room or the closest guys in the brotherhood here is the closest I think from places I've seen in the country. And people that transfer here, people that come here, say the exact same thing. So definitely made the right decision.
So I want to ask one more, a follow up with that, Carson, because you've had like everybody. We had Lathan on a lot last year, Cody, Tommy, all a bunch of guys, and everybody's journey in college is different. Like everybody, when you come here, I mean, you're an Army All-American guy, high 4 or 5 star. You're probably thinking, I'm going to get there, be there 3, maybe 4 years, start probably my second year, play for a couple, get drafted in the first round, and then that's it. Everybody's got like that track in their mind. Some guys takes a little bit to get on the field. Cody Simon, who backed up some great players, and then all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, he's finally allowed to show how good he is and play, becoming obviously the block O and everything. And your story is a little bit unique because you end up playing early, and then Seth comes in, and we had him on, I don't know, a couple months ago, Schlegs, talking about his relationship with you and how great it was. Because I wanted to kind of dive into that because he's an awesome guy. But in an era where you can leave so easily now, I think the more important question is, why did you stay?
Yeah. And so for me, obviously that was kind of a tough decision at the time, just because, obviously, like how you said, the era of people leaving and stuff right now is so prevalent. I really had to, I guess, pray on it, honestly, and really try to reflect on what I want to do and really what I think would make me the best player and what I can do for this team. And talking with my parents and my family and stuff like that as well was really kind of what helped me stay as well. Just because, like, I love competition. Like, I can't do anything without competition. And Seth coming in was looked at as a competition for me, not only for me against him, but for competition for me against me, learning from him, becoming a better player. And at first, I obviously looked at Seth as a competitor. I look at him as a brother. Like, he's great. Just gotten engaged up, 45 minutes from me, which is pretty cool. And we still talk a lot about different stuff that he's learning right now in the Bengals, and just spending that time with him, I think, was super important. Not only competing with him, but just learning from him as well. Because obviously, being a Remington Award winner, that's pretty cool. So definitely set the standard of what I want to try to become an over top for sure.
Hey, Carson. First off, everybody, I absolutely enjoyed my time that I got to train Carson. He's right up my alley of guys that I like to train. I got a couple 2-part bangers here, Bob, because you've been taking over the deal, and I appreciate it because that was very insightful. I want you to go in and I want you to articulate to the people the moment when you do compete. And I want the growth of Seth, because I don't think they understand this. A lot of people are like, hey, players are just telling coaches I'm playing or I'm leaving or whatever. But tell them how that journey, that competition, that self-introspection allowed you to then come in at guard, then come in at center and be prepared for that moment, different than if you would already have had it, right? That mindset that went into it. And now an all gold guy, like, it just doesn't happen, right? And so tell them a little bit about that maturation.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, like, at least for me, like, be a competitive guy, what helped me get to where I'm at and where I want to be. Like, I would look like anything Seth did, I wanted to do one more. You know what I mean? Like, even if he did one, if you were doing, you know, like hamstring walks, something like that in the line, I'd do one more. If we were doing squats, I wanted to do one more. If we did plate pitch competition, I always wanted to do like 1 second longer than him. Like, any single thing that he did, I mean, he probably, I don't even know if he realized it, but I would always try to, like, be peeking out and trying to just do one more, one more, one more. And at the time, I just thought, I'm trying to beat him. But at the end of the day, it made me such a better player and better person, just from trying to compete with him, and then going into the season of us being roommates in the hotel and stuff like that, and actually getting really close, and like learning from him, like, his ideas of how he looks at a defense, how he attacks the game plan, how He's looking at this and be like, why don't you try this? And he's like, that's the way I've always done it. Why don't you try that? And I was like, that's actually a really good idea. Let me try that. Or the way he sits in his hips compared to, other people and what I've learned from people that have been here in the past. So it's just, it's just a huge mindset shift for me having an older guy in the room because I never really had that.
Yep.
And so having a guy who comes in and is weathered, is vet, he's a vet, has played a lot of ball, has faced a lot of adversity, but he's one of those guys where what I want to be, where you can just kind of set your watch to him all the time. Very consistent guy, very consistent player, and so that gave me confidence, honestly, going into the Penn State game, being able to play, with two All-Americans, one on my right, one on my left, to go in there and just kind of play free and play, just have fun. Because at the end of the day, like I feel like that's when I play my best is when I'm having fun, and so those guys were a blast to be around, not only on the field but off as well.
Yeah, I want to follow that up with you mentioned it earlier. You come in, Coach Stud's there, now he's not there. Then Justin Fry comes in, and now you got Tyler Bowen. Give us a little bit of nuggets from Coach Fry and Tyler now that you get to experience him, because I got to coach with him in Jacksonville. Super great, just a great dude. Just give us a little background about like kind of nuggets and how they're different and how they're one's making an impact on you now and how one did.
Yeah, so Coach Fry was definitely a great coach. Obviously him and Selene, Coach Selene, were the ones who helped me get to where I'm at right now. Them and Coach Drevno as well was a huge, huge part. And they were great to have. Coach Bowen right now, he came in. He's definitely a different, I would say, personality, but the guys freaking love him. Like it's so much fun, like to see him come in and having kind of that. I mean, I guess he's not fresh out of the league, but pretty, close, fresh out of the league perspective and stuff like that has been really cool to learn from. And because he's an OC guy, so I mean, I guess Fry was too, but he'll break down not only our job and our position, but like why are we doing it? Because Coach Day always talks about it. First, it's what you're doing. Next is how you're going to do it, and the third is why for complete understanding. And so Coach Bowen, I think, does a really good job of allowing us to completely understand what we're doing and what we're going to do, along with having two other great assistant coaches who were, head of line coaches at where they were at as well in the room, with Coach Johnson and Coach Dickey, also having a GA. So we really have, three or four, line coaches. It's been
Yeah.
pretty cool to be able to work with those guys because now it's the case of, at first when there's only one O-line coach, one GA, he'll get back to you at film, but now during a play, like there's eyes on every single person. And so you're getting a coaching tip after every single rep and stuff like that. So it's pretty awesome.
It's awesome.
It's pretty remarkable. Describe to us, you talked a little bit about going in there in Penn State, and that was an unbelievable performance by you guys as offensive line.
514, 514, run the damn ball.
Driving off the goal line, it was tremendous. Being able to finish a game like that, and I always tell people that scoring to end the game is great. Kneeing it out to end a game is even better because you've taken the ball away from them. But take us back to that moment. I think it was maybe a Tuesday afternoon heading into the Indiana game when you guys are doing inside run. Seth goes down and we're looking around like, maybe it's just an ankle. Guys get rolled up all the time. And he lays there and all of a sudden, like everybody realizes it's more serious.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, then the ball's to you. What was said in that moment, and what was the conversation like with Coach Fry and whoever of the decisions being made of how you guys are going to shuffle back and you sliding back to center?
Yeah, and so it wasn't inside run. It was actually the first play of scout period. We're running inside zone to the right, and me and we're going to run into a wide side, and me and Donnie had a B block on the backside, and I remember Seth looks at me, and he's like, what the heck, Carson? I'm like, what? He's like, you kicked me in the back of the leg because he thought I kicked him. I wasn't even near him, and I was like, I don't think I did. I wasn't near you. And all of a sudden, he obviously gets pretty distraught because I had no idea what happened. He walks away and he's limping pretty hard. I still have no idea what happened. Like Carsko at center, and I was fully ready to be playing guard for the rest of the season. So I got both my gloves taped on. And so I'm like, all right, cool. Like, well, I'm like, I'll go back and I still had no idea what happened until after the practice of what what really happened to him, because everyone was so, what just happened.
Right.
But Seth did a great job though. Like, even when he got injured, he still was in our meetings every day, helping me, um, you know, giving me tips and stuff like that on what we're gonna play, people that he's played before. Um, and like what he would do and stuff like that. So him being there was like a huge confidence booster to me, not only because I played the position before, but watching him do it, and then him also like having kind of a coaching position to help me, I mean, in that regards as well, was really really cool. But definitely the what helped me a lot too was the confidence I think the other guys on the line had for me to move back to that position as well. I know Josh instilled a lot of confidence in me, Josh Fryer, which helped me a lot, along with Donnie and Teg, and then Luke and Pig, who were sliding in and out, was really important for me, just to not only know that I can trust them with their job, but they can trust me with getting them right.
Yeah, it's huge. And you mentioned something a little bit earlier, and you were talking about the brotherhood, the culture. There was something that you saw with Charles post,
Hmm.
and just the amount of Remingtons, and then the opportunity, like Bob's in the building, and I'm back around, and I was there in 24 with you guys, and now you got Nate Ebner, and you got B Hard, and you got James, and you got like OG there, Wall, like guys that have been Buckeyes before, and to be
Hmm.
able to go and then lean on somebody, and Charles, as we all know, is phenomenal.
Yeah,
It's, I
absolutely.
mean, the guy could have been a Hall of Famer. He had some things that happened in the NFL, but he is 100% bona fide dude when it comes to offensive line play.
Hmm.
And to be able to have that connection, and then also be able to go out there and work with him. And this is what I think the coolest thing is, without coaches getting butt hurt, that you're going out there and working with somebody else at the, you know what I mean? Because like there
Yeah.
can be like, oh, this is the way we do it, as opposed to what works the best for Carson, and it's just adding value to you, adds value to Ohio State. It's the brotherhood, different generations. Tell everybody how cool that is, that in our brotherhood, we have so many people that are like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach Bowen's awesome with that. Like, he's like, man, if you guys got people that you think are gonna help you go play well, go work with them. He's like, if we're not here, go work with them. Like, it's totally fine. He's like, as long as we come back and we can play the best ball we can, that's all that needs to be done. And for me, I think LaCharles is a great, like, an awesome resource for me to go and rely, like, um, go really work with. And him being pretty close, in Cleveland a lot, or going on to AZ and working with those guys down there, I think I've become 10 times the player I was this last season, just not only working on specific techniques, but like body mechanics and different, like the way your anatomy moves and stuff like that. Like, just ways I wasn't thinking before, that helped me get in um, positions I didn't want to be in, but now I have that thought process to get into the ideal positions where I want to be at my strongest, and really allowing myself to carry what I do in the weight room, onto the field. And so I think working with him has been the best blessing I can get, especially because he's great, like with times and anything like that, with him allowing me to come up and work with him, or allowing me to fly down to AZ whenever and go and work out there as well. It's been super super cool to go and work out with there, because like I was just out in AZ a little bit ago, and you guys saw the video, and it was cool because like Paris was there, and a bunch of
Oh, yeah.
other old Bucks were there, which is pretty cool, talking to them. And like Taylor Decker's there, like Deck was there and working and stuff like that. And it's just cool to go and talk to those guys and work with them, and kind of like watch how they move and stuff like that, and try to not really replicate, but find your own with that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool.
I mean, I watched Ed Warner destroy Taylor Decker in his freshman spring ball. Like, and this guy's played 10 years in the league now. And I'm telling you, Carson, that's why everybody thinks it's just this easy path. If you ever get around Taylor again, talk about his time when he first began to start, because he had to start early and he
Hmm.
wasn't, I don't know, fully ready. There's another guy that Charles actually compared you to, Nick Mangold. Now, he's a guy that's from way back. Do you know who Nick Mangold is?
I've heard of him. I do not know him though.
So Nick is in our class, and All-American, ends up he's drafted 29th by the Jets. He played a decade in the NFL, made 6 or 7 Pro Bowls, and may end up being in the Hall of Fame one day. We'll see how it breaks for him, but he really, really talented player.
Oh, yeah.
And Charles comparing you to him is a phenomenal it's a phenomenal compliment because of everything that Nick was able to accomplish and just how it's interesting. He's very athletic. You're more explosive than he is, but like you said, the way he sits in his hips and body control and positioning was remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk to you, like being from Wisconsin. Like, what was it like growing up there? Going home. I mean, did you grow up on a farm? I know there's a lot of open space. Like, what were some of the things that helped develop you along the way?
Yeah, so I grew up on I can go full accent for you guys if you really want me to, but I grew up.
Let's hear it, dude.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So I grew up North Rate, and so up in the backwoods of Wisconsin. But I grew up in a town, or actually it was an unincorporated town called Hatchville, and we had a small family farm. So it's where we live. So it's like my parents and I, my two sisters. So our family here, and that's my grandma, and it's my aunt and uncle, and then it's my other aunt and uncle, and it's my like a bunch of all my relatives are kind of around and stuff like that. And we grew up at a small dairy farm, ran about like 200 or just a little over 300 acres of acreage for like soybeans and corn and stuff like that. So I grew up doing all farm work stuff like that and waking up early. Staying in late at night because something's always broke, something always needs to get fixed or fed or something. And I grew up with cattle, pigs. My aunt had chickens and goats and rabbits, which were gross. I'd never have a rabbit again in my life. Um, but yeah, I grew up definitely with that lifestyle and stuff like that. Small town living. The closest town to me had about like 500 people. That's where my dad went to high school, and then where I went to high school, where my mom taught, was about 1,300 people. It's growing pretty well now, but when I was there, it was a little bit smaller. So um, definitely was able to, um, learn a lot about small town living through all that. Plus, like just like what hard work was, because my grandma was definitely the hardest working person I've ever met. I mean, it could be negative 45 degrees and she'll be, crawling out to the barn or stuff like that. And it's just what we did, you know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
a lot of people look at this as, man, it sucks, it's hard. But I'm like, I've seen what sucks and is hard. And this is totally like, I have a great time doing this kind of stuff, guys. I love hanging out with the guys, going out and playing ball. And, like it's just fun compared to
Real
going
work,
in,
real work.
yeah,
Yeah.
compared to real work. So I'm like I'm having a great time, guys, out here working out with you guys compared to what I've been doing. So I don't know. I guess I just kind of shifted my perspective, to a lot of people, because I always looked at hard work as a blessing, because I get to do this. I get to be out here. We're reading the book right now. Chop wood, carry water, and um, I always thought that perspective was kind of on my life a lot, because uh, like we'd go and we'd literally chop wood and carry water every day, so at home. So it's kind of cool to just be able to see that mindset reflected in what we're doing right now, and what I've always brought, and just to reiterate that right now for the whole team. It's been pretty cool.
That's pretty special, and that's why I love your mentality. It reminds us a lot of Cade Stover, who grew up on a farm. He's like, dude, the cows got to get fed, and we grew up. My parents got about 40 acres, not a lot, but we have about 20 cattle. I sent my son down to help reset a fence line, Carson. I mean, that's
Oh yeah,
fun stuff that you want to do. Get out there
yeah,
and drive some fence posts, 90 degrees.
yeah.
Everybody in the era of NIL, everybody talks about having like the sweet cars in their apartments and everything. And I mean, have we got a new car yet? I know the car that you were rolling with is pretty sweet. And that's
Yeah.
something that's like endearing about you, is the fact that he was rolling in some Schlegs that looked like
Yeah.
like we would have driven it in college.
Yeah,
Good.
so I had Miss Juicy. She was a 1988 Oldsmobile with just
Yeah.
completely sunburnt. I've upgraded not by much, but a couple decades. So now I actually bought it from 82-year-old lady up in New Philadelphia. I got an '01 Impala right now.
Nice.
It's actually I bought it for $1,800 in cash, cold cash. So it's only got 6,000 miles on it though, so it's pretty sweet.
That is
Um,
amazing. I remember that's the long body, kind of
yeah,
rounded
Oh yeah.
Impala. Those Dude, those you put some 15s in the back of that, Carson.
It's got
That'd
it's got a
be
wing on. I mean, the sun, it's all the clear coat is burnt off it, but it's got a wing on it. And it's actually in the shop right now. I think the starter literally just went on it. She never drove it on interstate or nothing like that. So me driving it to and from like Cleveland, it was kind of rough on it a little bit, but it's fine. But I'm hoping to get like my truck that I really wanna work on. That'll kind of be my little more than $1,800 in stipend check. Um, Working on a '73 Highboy will be kind of be my truck, hopefully, within the next few months. So we'll see, but that's the goal, I guess,
yeah.
in life is to have a truck like that to kind of come run around in. So,
Let's
because I
go.
don't know.
Let's
Sorry, go ahead.
no. You're good. I like it because first off, I just like that you like the older stuff, which I do too. Um, we gotta let you go because you're in here.
You're
You're
good.
taking your time.
I
You
got
got
one.
the.
You
Oh,
got
you
one
got
more.
another one?
Well, someone
Yeah.
asked me this in the chat, Carson. I don't
Okay.
even know what this means. Someone asked if you ever ran with the llamas.
Ran with the llama. Oh, yeah, yeah. We were running with the llamas up there. Yeah,
Is that a thing in Wisconsin?
that's such a that's such a weird thing that people know that is. Yeah, yeah. I ran with the llama. Yeah, well, I watched it a couple times. I never ran with them, but I've definitely watched it. We have that. We have the bus races up there. We got a lot of good stuff.
You got to keep it
That's
proper. You
neat.
got to entertain yourselves when there's nothing else out there to do,
No,
and drive
literally.
around in '88 Oldsmobiles and just basing a bunch of country music. Hey, I want to finish this. I want to finish this one. Let you on this. You got the R2X that's ready to execute. That's Joe Hill,
Mhm.
Buckeye. All right, and I know that I think you and who else was it? Caden did some stuff with them. Great dudes, but I want to hear what is success to you in 2025, Carson, for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And when I say that, I don't necessarily mean championship because we all know what we're chasing. I want to hear about the growth and development of what does success in the 2025 season look like for Carson Hinzman.
For me, yeah. And so I'm at the point right now in my career where people can, um, at least I've talked to Seth about this as well, where if I have a really good year, obviously I could, potentially make a shot at, um, going and achieving more in the league. But for me, I don't want to put too much emphasis or too much foresight on that. I feel like once I make my own plans, then that's when God decides to go a different way. So for me, I think success to me looks like becoming, um, as good of a center and as good of a player as I can possibly become this year. You know what I mean? And
Yep, yep,
I've really been trying to do every single thing I can, whether that's working on leadership or doing like a meal plan at home, taking the right stuff, right vitamins, and going to bed at the right time, drinking enough water throughout the day, like just all the little things to put myself in a position that can help the team as much as I can possibly can. Because to me, like I said earlier, like I want to be that guy where you can kind of set your watch to. You know what I mean? Like
yep.
whatever happens, like that's gonna be a consistent, bruiser. He's gonna go out and he's gonna play hard. And so um, that's my goal, at least for myself, because I feel like I said, once you have too much emphasis on going to the league, that's when you lose sight of what you want to do right now. And luckily for me, I do have another year of eligibility. I'm not saying that I'm going to rely on that by any means, but definitely going to try and just become better.
Absolutely, sir. Well, hey, I told you it was going to be like 20. We're like 27, 28. So it was way too
All
long, man.
good.
I appreciate you spending some time, dude. It was fun to get to know a little bit more, peel back some of those layers.
Mhm.
And I'm sure you've got like some more prehab to do, film to watch, cars to fix up, all the
Yeah.
good stuff, man. So you enjoy it, man. I'll catch you again tomorrow, all right?
All right. We'll see you guys. Thank you.
See you, brother.
See you.
So our guy, Carson Hinzman, one of the best. We'll react to everything he said and break some of that down here coming up next on the Bobby Carpenter.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right. And it was great.
That was great.
Here with that. Before we go any further, I want to tell you about our friends at Export, designed by professional athletes, or designed by professional NHL team dentists, worn by professional athletes. Export mouth guards are scientifically tested to help absorb those high-impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. Export mouth guards feature 3 layers of advanced protection, including a patented use of carbon fiber, custom fit to your own smile with 3D printed technology for more protection, better performance, max comfort, clear communication, so you can focus on your game, not on your gear. Don't take chances with your safety. Visit exportguards.com/Bobby to save 15% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. All right, Schlegs. Carson said a lot there.
Yeah, he did. It was great, buddy.
I had no idea what the hell that even was. And he's like, oh, yeah, I mean, hopped into it. We obviously got some people in the chat that are hail from Wisconsin, or at least have been up there. It's very interesting because after we got a chance to talk to Seth, and hearing their relationship and then kind of hearing the other side of it. And, Carson came in and played, then didn't play, and battled with Seth, and then ultimately came back and was one of the best centers, I think, down the stretch in college football. And I think that's the expectation coming into this year, is for him to be a Remington, candidate, finalist, and maybe potentially winner. We start talking about some of the names that LaCharles is putting around, and LaCharles doesn't throw out, compliments willy-nilly. I mean, if he's saying something, like he's saying it for a reason. But is there anything that you got a chance to take away from Carson? Maybe you didn't know, that maybe you found out, like a little insight into his life.
No, I'm telling you right now, guys, like, everything happens for a reason. And after going into that Cotton Bowl, and then Seth, and what's my identity? How am I working? What are the things that are the most important thing to me? That's why, just so you guys know, I remember he talking about chopping wood, carrying water, reading the book, actually doing it for real as a life. But that's why I asked him the question, what is success to him? Because if it was about hey, I want to go win the Remington, and there's no doubt that you want to go do that. But he hit the nail on the head. I want to be the best version of myself at the center position. Because if I am, I'm definitely going to be able to help my teammates. And if I help my teammates, all of those things will fall into place. That's the right mindset. And and the other thing was, he wants to be consistent with it. He wants to be the barometer of which you measure that consistency. That's that type. He's that type of guy. So he already has the intangibles that you want from a standard of physical performance. He's met all of those. Now it's the football acumen and the leadership and just being consistent, being the best version of Carson. And that's what my takeaway was from this. I think all that trial and tribulation and turmoil, and then also success, has put him in a good spot to where he can have a really excellent 2025.
It's pretty remarkable there. All right, we're going to take another quick break. Shays, I like some of your breakdown here, so then we can dive into it a little bit more coming up here next on the Bobby Carpenter Show. All right, welcome back into the show. Carson's great. I was just texting him. He was saying thank you for having him on. We got it. I'll see if I can grab some other players throughout the week. I want to try to get Tebow, Coach Tyler Bowen as well.
Yeah.
Tebow cruising around there, and then maybe try to get Ryan on before they get rolling as well, because they're going to start working next week. I'm guessing, getting off of vacation here with the coaches.
It's getting frothy.
What?
It's getting frothy, man. It's that time. It's time. It's freaking July 14th, guys. It is time.
It is time, dude. This is it. Like they have this week and next week for players, and then you're like GTFO, man. Like we're
You
ready
got
to
4
go.
days off, and then we're going to camp. I mean, it's crazy how fast it's gone.
Yeah, it comes at you thick and fast, Schlegs, as always. I don't even know where to go from this because there's just so much that we could even kind of talk about and everything else here. Maybe going to try to get AJ on tomorrow. We'll have to kind of see how the week shakes out.
Well, why don't you go into LSU hiring Sam?
Oh, yeah, this is great because the picture is even better.
The picture's even better. Go into that because I
pull
want you guys to understand.
pull this up. LSU hiring away. I don't even know what his official director was. He director of recruiting at Ohio State personnel.
Director of player personnel.
Throw that up here, and this is the best because I don't have Sam's number, but I did send it to someone who is involved with this. Whenever we can get that up, but yeah, LSU hired him down there as the director of scouting and personnel strategy. He spent nearly a decade with Nick Saban. He was down at Bama. Then he came up here and has been doing a great job working with Pantoni as they're kind of building the plan and the structure. And honestly, like this, so I don't think this was ever going to be long-term, but the best picture is part of it. You know who that is in the picture, correct?
Of course. Yeah, that's Mark Pantoni. Like he's going to LSU. Mark Pantoni's not going anywhere. First off, amazing. Sam, really, and I'll give you like my little take, like really like Sam, was a coach in college, understands the high school like relationship. He came up here in a capacity, worked, moved up, changed, goes back down. Like that's where he's from. It's a great fit for them. The one thing that you think about too is, is this going to allow other people to get kind of the keys of the kingdom because you're seeing all the back end work that you do in college football at Ohio State and why we're doing what we do. We've already talked at length about our value prop and why we're doing certain things in the long play strategy at Ohio State. Take that down to LSU. I hope Sam all the best. But the best thing was that was Mark Pantoni and not Sam. So
that's the beauty of all of that. As I looked at it, I was like, wait a second. That's like Pantoni, not the guy, not obviously who was represented there. So some people may have been kind of freaking out a little bit. That's why it's always important, Schlegs, to read to make sure
read
you
the captions.
Read the captions and not just read the not just look at the headline or the picture or whatever that might be. Because Mark Pantoni is still staying here, but that is part of it. And so as people leave, like you try to recreate that culture, and people wanting your coaches is a good thing because in your personnel staff, because that means you're doing it the right way. Everybody wants to get like a little taste of how Ohio State runs this. And this is with even some people getting worried, like, oh, is recruiting slipping? What's going on? Are there problems right now? Listen, like there's ebbs and flows. There's different things going on. We got some good questions coming in the chat that we're going to get to.
Let's do them.
Well, in Tailgate Talk, Schlegs, we have a section for that as well, because we're going to take a quick break. We got our headlines coming up next, but before we get to that, I want to tell you about our friends over at Backer Schlegs. That's bckr.com. Backer Gear is the elite Buckeye brand, apparel that you're going to love. The wind gear, the cold gear, the rain gear is all there for you. Their products are better quality. They've got all the doodads, the features that you love in there, like the nice skiing, hunting, fishing equipment, like the nice high-end golf coats. Like they have all of that. It's all rolled into your Buckeye gear. They're taking it to some more teams in case you have friends that like other teams, but nobody likes anyone more than Ohio State. So they've got the great Buckeye stuff there for you with loads of features. That's bckr.com. Go check them out. We just did a sweet photo shoot with them, Schlegs. Did some blue steel. I think it's really going to bring it home. And use promo code all caps Bobby at the at checkout for free expedited shipping. Again, that's backer bckr.com. Headlines coming up next.
Creative, experience, Results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, welcome in to our headlines. Slake's Headlines brought to you by our friends over at Lake Spur Marketing. If you're looking to scale your marketing, let the Lake Spur Marketing team be your trusted marketing agency. They have a broad range of experience regardless of the industry. The Lake Spur team prides themselves on building the partnerships that you need. They're confident they'll deliver the results, but more importantly, it's about the relationship that they're going to build with you to understand what your goals are and to seamlessly help you execute them. Lake Spur Marketing, the proof is in their partners. Visit lakespurmarketing.com today. All right, Ross Dellinger, Schlegs. It's media days right now. We had big media days last week. We'll get to some of the nuggets from that later as the week rolls on. And then SEC media days start today. And then the Big Ten and ACC, I think, are the same time here coming around next week. Ross Dellinger pointed this out, and he said it's somewhat noteworthy, but Greg Sankey, who's the SEC commissioner, said his president suggested that during spring meetings that the 4 power conferences form a committee to explore the P4's role in the future of college athletics. The committee would include 2 presidents from each league and the commissioners. So 12 overall, 4 commissioners, 8 presidents taking a look at it as they try to figure out what this model is going to be. And I think that is important because everybody wonders, well, who's going to be in control? What's this going to look like? Who handles the operation? Well, at least we're trying to hopefully kind of get to some level now, Schlaze, where everybody can weigh in. And what do you want it to look like? What do you think it should look like? And how are we going to implement that?
Yeah, it's interesting to take in their perspective because for a lot of universities, Bob, as you know, the athletic department is not self-sufficient or fully funded by themselves. A lot of it is the universities have to step in and bridge the gap for an athletic department. So it does impact the individual universities, and their presidents probably need somewhat of a say just to actually have some perspective as to why would we want to go down this road and what is the real money that we're looking at as far as being generated toward a university as a whole. Maybe things that we have to raise up, facilities, let's say, or do we want to be able to invest in there when we can invest somewhere else in the university? It's good that they're getting them to the table. I actually like this, just a different prism to see things through, because there's a lot of logistics, there's a lot of monetary things going on, and maybe they got a different perspective that can help bring some things to light and get some things resolved. But again, if we all know this about higher academia, I don't know how fast they want to execute. You know, they like to have tenure. They're very slow in the process. Yeah. When the problem is right now in college athletics, somebody's got to take the bull by the horns and plant the flag, and we got to go and set some rules so we can move forward.
And that is true. The fact you're correct in that. The fact that they're saying we need to probably look at this and figure out what we want it to look like. Well, let's get that committee together. Let's have a meet, figure out what we like about the current situation, what we don't like, what we're going to be able to potentially change, how that would look, how those changes impact everything, and kind of, you just start workshopping. So you get that whiteboard out.
Monsters.
Whiteboard. Monsters, maybe some Zins, maybe some of those like any type of stimulant Schlegs, as long as it's legal or maybe not, to help get that brain thinking because here's the one thing, the unintended consequences. If we do A, what happens to B? What happens to C? Like all these different things that trickle down. And now that we have this era of rev sharing and everybody's going to be setting up these contracts for July 1, I was always a proponent of having a transfer window right after the season. But after looking at it now, like you're probably going to have to do it in that spring window so people are transferring, and that's all getting locked in there to kind of correspond with that fiscal year of how that's going to work. And so those are all things that need to be married together. So hopefully they'll be able to figure that out and be able to solve those problems. You got another nugget? Or are you good?
Nope, I'm good. Let's go to I want to go to tailgate talk. We got some good ones there.
We got some good ones in the chat. Stay with us. We got tailgate talk coming up next.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, welcome back in. It's our tailgate talk brought to you by Real Truck, where we answer your questions. I want to address this right off the jump, and then we'll get some more stuff from Sam. So, boys, any thought on the Quinshawn situations? Too early and/or not the place to discuss. Police report came out. Doesn't sound good so far. I'm a Browns fan, so there's a lot of discussion up north about it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with this. And for those of you who don't know, he was, I believe, arrested for domestic battery, I want to say. Stemming from an incident in I think July 7th, if I'm not mistaken, from my reading of it. Until I see a lot more on it, I haven't read the police report yet. I don't like to try to comment and speculate on all of those things at this point, especially the league's going to handle it. It'll be adjudicated. They'll decide, charges to press and how to pursue all of those things. I always speak to my Quinshaw was always a quiet guy when he was at Ohio State. I didn't have as many interactions with him as I did a lot of the other guys, and he was only here for a year. People spoke very positively of him. But I don't know him well enough to have any type of judgment call based upon what the accusations are levied, and I was not there. So I try not to wildly speculate on things, Schlegs, that I don't have all of the information on. And it would just be giving another opinion that's based in nothing more than conjecture,
Totally agree. On to the next. What's another one?
All right. So there we go. We tackled that. And if there's more information and stuff that comes out, folks, then those things begin to come out. But like right away, it's crazy. Where was the one earlier, Schlegs? I don't know. There was some other stuff.
You guys have got some really good ones in here. They were talking. There was one about the 4 teams. Oh man, who was it? I think it was just right here. You guys talked a lot. Yeah. Deserve to have 4 teams in every year.
You would think that would be the case. I would have to imagine so. SEC is going to have their staples. The Big Ten, you're going to have Ohio State, Penn State. As long as James Franklin is like, here's the thing. So much of it is like, are these coaches there and what does it look like? But as long as James Franklin's there, if Michigan, we'll see what the sanctions happen and what that looks like, any type of punishment that's levied, and can Schroe replicate what Jim Harbaugh did throughout like his tenure. Last year was a little bit of a rebuild after winning a national title. USC should be involved. Oregon's going to be involved. I mean, so you should have hopefully a Wisconsin and Illinois, like another team. You should be having like really 6 or 7 teams in any given year vying for those 4 spots. That's ideally how it should look.
Yeah, and you got to have depth, and you never know what those year-to-year, portal, injury-to-injury looks, because you could have a really good team with a quarterback that's rolling. He goes down, you have a backup. That's how you don't make it. It's about the depth. It's about staying healthy while also making that run and having a really great conference to compete against, to be able to validate why you should get 4. There was another one in there too, Bob, about the NCAA. Greg Sankey didn't he want to go away from the NCAA? I just want to lay out my thoughts to you guys. My biggest thing is I would just like one governing body. I got no problem with the NCAA, but nobody cares about their judgments. And so there are no rules. They haven't established anything. They just let it go to the courts, or we'll just figure it out as it plays out. So then people are just doing whatever they want to do, like the Wild West. And we just need one governing body for Division I college football. And if you want to say that can also stair step down, or maybe Division One AA, right? FCS, whatever it was, FBS. I don't even know. They got so many different things now, but maybe those are under the NCAA because it's different. But I tell you, there's money there too. So how does this look? Who's putting the system together? Who are we all signing up for, saying we give this governing body authority to, impart rulings on us and to keep everybody in check? And this is the calendar. This is what we do. That needs to happen. And I think you can't make the NCAA kind of grow into that. I think you have to start fresh and have your own, my opinion.
All right, final one here is from Terry. This is the one I was looking up earlier, Terry Slusher. Fellas, any chance that Ryan is interested in bringing in Will Muschamp?
Ooh, that's a good one, yeah.
I think I will say this, I don't speak for Ryan. I think the way he kind of looks at things is the way he's done in the past. Like, is there a way that you're going to come and add value? Do you fit with our organization? And is there kind of a place? And you can always kind of make a place. I'm not sure on that at the moment. I'll have to do a little research into it, Schleigs. And then would this be someplace he'd want to come? Like, because he's not going to be D coordinator because that's Matt Patricia right now. And so would you be some sort of senior defensive consultant? How would that look? How would that impact the team? That's all there. That's it for this edition.
And that just happened too, guys. That just happened. Like, I guess he was there as like a, quote unquote, like assistant to the side. He's no longer there. So,
yeah. And so those things happen, and why did that happen? There's all kinds of stuff that you always have to dive into. Buckeyes, all right, we'll get Schleigs in about 30 seconds with his parting thoughts. All right, Schleigs, we're long for time here. You got about 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Hey, happy birthday, Hunter Schlegel. His 19th birthday yesterday. I took him out to Scioto with the Nutters. Played Luke and his dad. The final putt, he didn't realize it was probably worth about 50, and he missed it. And it was, but here, besides my son's birthday and just being able to spend time with Chuck, and then you go own Nutter Hardware and Luke, Jack Tucker's dad is like the guy that you greet before you go out. And it was great talking to him, talking about his boys, Lindsay, because they come up to the Armory. We played with them, obviously, Bob. I love those interactions, and it makes me feel good about why I'm back in Central Ohio.
Okay, Buckeyes, of course, it's always good to be back in the heart of it all. Schleigs, that's it for today. We'll catch you up tomorrow on the Bobby Carpenter Show.